Okay, so what we are looking at here is a 52-inch antique brass Supreme Mark 6 ceiling fan. This is basically a Casablanca Victorian copy. I don't know much about Supreme fans, so I don't know too much information about it. Other than I found it at Habitat for 20 bucks. And it still had its original box, but it has been tampered with. Therefore, the original blade irons were missing, as well as the bell canopy this would have had. This would have had a Casablanca-style bell canopy. It does use the original spiral down rod, and it uses the same mounting bracket as a Casablanca fan would that used the bell canopy, but that was also missing, so I'm just using this temporary bracket to hang it. That came off a real Casablanca fan. These are the original blades, but the irons are not original. And the components inside the switch housing were definitely tampered with before I got this fan. So I kind of just had to neaten them up. The wiring was all messed up, so I had to fix that. But it seems to be all good now. This fan basically uses the same idea as Slumber Quiet, basically being it has one pull chain that's light kit adaptable, and the first pull would be light only, the second pull would be fan only, and the third would be light and fan, and the fourth would be off. But this fan, as you can clearly see, does not have a light. Didn't come with any light, and since I'm going to be selling this fan, I didn't feel like putting a light on it. So let's go ahead and get a close-up. These blades are reversible from cane to plane. And it did a rather poor job putting these blade brackets on. You can see the original holes right there. And these are just some antique brass Panama blade arms that came from a Panama that I parted out. Spiral down rod up there. Use the cardboard box variable speed control. There's a knob for it. And it uses a super heavy spinner motor, which I don't know much about. When I got this fan, the bearings were a little scratchy, as if it was used a lot, but because of the condition of this fan, the blades were still wrapped in their original packaging from the factory. So I don't think this fan was used really at all. I'm thinking it was just tampered with. But I think the bearings sounded as they did because it was sitting for so long. But that's my guess. But after I ran it for a while, they seem to have gotten better. So it seems to be all good now. But I really don't know what the story is with this fan, why so many parts are missing. I mean, it was obviously tampered with. I just have no idea where they went. I even looked all over the Habitat store for the parts that could have gone with this fan, and no luck. So let's go ahead and start this up. And we're going to start with the slowest speed. So the first pull would have been the light, but since there is no light, we're going to put it on here, and it's not starting. There we go. Sometimes you have to move the knob up and then back down to get it going. And the fan uses trim pot too. And just for the hell of it, I'm going to pull it again. Which would have been for a fan end light, but I'm just doing that so I can just pull it once to turn it off. Now, I could have gone slower with the trim pot, but if I were to go any lower, it wouldn't start on low. Even if it's set like this, it still didn't start on low, as you saw when I first started it. You would have to, if it does stall like that, you'd have to move the knob up a little bit to get the motor going, and then put it back down to the slowest speed. I'm not sure why it does that. I don't know if that's a motor problem or what. But it should just be able to start right up. But I'm not too concerned about it though. Now when I first put these blade irons on this fan, they barely, they didn't clear both the speed control knob and the motor housing faceplate. So I had to bend them a little bit so they can barely make enough clearance to be functional. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a Supreme Mark 6, which is a rather uncommon fan from what I know. Let's turn this up a little bit. It's kind of hard to grab this knob because the blade irons run so close. Turn it up a little bit higher. This fan motor has a buzz to it. It doesn't surprise me. Now when this thing is on full speed, it is super, super powerful. I mean, this thing goes so fast on the high speed. It's probably one of the fastest fans I own. The bearings aren't silent either. Like I said, I don't know the story of this fan, but it was clearly tampered with when I first got it. Let's move the speed up a little bit more. And there it is. Going a little faster, it's moving along pretty good already. Let's go up to the full speed now. And there it is on full power. I'm not going to leave this running too long because of just the speed of it makes me nervous because of how close, like it barely clears this knob here in the motor housing, like just barely clears it. And the cat says hello. Can't tell how well the camera's focused. What's Zaffy? So this fan is for sale. This is another fan I'm bringing to the group meet this August coming up. And this fan is claimed as of right now. So, there you have it. That is all for the Supreme Mark 6 ceiling fan.